The quota reform movement in Bangladesh, primarily led by university students, began in 2018. The movement was sparked by grievances over the government job quota system, which allocated 56% of government jobs to various quotas, including those for descendants of freedom fighters, women, and ethnic minorities. The students argued that this system was unfair and discriminatory, limiting opportunities for meritorious candidates. The movement gained momentum in early April 2018 when students from Dhaka University and other institutions organized protests demanding a reduction in the quota allocation from 56% to 10% of government jobs. The protests escalated, leading to violent clashes between students and law enforcement. Police used tear gas, water cannons, and rubber bullets to disperse the protesters. Several students were injured and some were arrested, further intensifying the unrest. The violence drew widespread criticism from civil society and human rights organizations, who condemned the excessive use of force against peaceful protesters. In response to the growing protests, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina announced on April 11, 2018, that the quota system would be abolished. However, the lack of a formal notification and subsequent government actions led to skepticism and continued protests. On July 2, 2018, the government formed a committee to review the quota system. The committee recommended reforms, but the delay in implementation led to renewed protests. The protesting students outlined specific demands, including a reduction of the quota percentage, ensuring that vacant quota positions would be filled by merit-based candidates, and the formation of a high-level committee to oversee the implementation of these reforms. Negotiations between student leaders and government officials took place, but progress was slow, and the lack of concrete actions fueled further demonstrations. After months of protests, the government eventually announced changes to the quota system. In October 2018, the cabinet approved the abolition of quotas for first- and second-class government jobs, effectively addressing the students' primary demand. While this was seen as a victory for the movement, the partial retention of quotas for certain categories, like the disabled and ethnic minorities, remained a point of contention. The protests led to significant policy changes, highlighting the power of student activism in Bangladesh. The government's decision to abolish the quota system for first- and second-class jobs was a direct result of the sustained protest, political and social influence. The movement underscored the role of youth and student movements in shaping national policies. It also highlighted issues of governance and accountability in Bangladesh. Despite the success, student groups remain vigilant and continue to advocate for fair employment practices and educational reforms, ensuring that the spirit of the quota reform movement endures.